You can hear the sizzle, you know. The fall chill is definitely in the air, and I don't think there's a better comfort food this time of year or tailgating staple for the big games this weekend than a big bowl of chili.
But today's chili comes with a twist. We are making it with craft beer in honor of this weekend's Good Beer Festival that's in Salisbury. And joining us today to show us how is Ryan Miller, who is the owner of the deli and Last Call Liquors in Salisbury. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a handful. What? Okay, we got a lot here to do.
Yeah,
we have a lot.
You're
So
already
we
started,
we
so
got to
let
get
us
going.
jump in.
So far we've already been cooking down and browning some beef chuck here. This is an 80-20, so a little less fat, but you can go 90-10 if you can find it.
Right.
And also, if you want to make it a little healthier, you can always go with ground chicken.
Go chicken.
And
There you
make it a
go.
little bit
Or
better.
venison.
That's the way we do it. Yep.
So what we're going to do first is going to add some herbs. So we're going to do
Okay.
some thyme and
What's
some
this one?
sage.
Sage?
Yeah.
A little sage in there.
And we have the ingredients there on the
That's right,
screen
screen.
if you want to follow along at home.
And we're just going to get that going for a little bit. And that's nice and cooked up now.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually strain it.
Okay.
Because there's grease in here, you never want to go straight to a sink. So actually in the sink, we have a strainer and a bowl under it so we
So
can
you got that?
catch some
I
of
got
that.
it.
You're good to
I
go.
got
Okay.
it, Jimmy.
All right.
So tell me more about what we've got here that we're going to be adding to this as we go on.
Well, to make it a little different because of the festival, we're going to be adding a craft beer.
Okay.
Right here we have a beer, 16 Mile. It's actually from right up in Delaware. It's a semi-local craft. And you always want to go with a dark beer if you're going to be cooking something with beef because it goes a little better together.
Oh.
It has a little more flavors. And this beer in particular has some, can we just put that right into here?
Apple, okay.
This beer in particular has some chocolate notes and things like that, which
Ah,
is going to taste pretty good with it. too.
gotcha.
So,
Okay.
That's the hardest part, getting in from the big pot into the little bowl.
Okay, so you got that there. What
Yep.
next?
all right, what we're going to do next when we get this pot, we're actually going to use this pot
okay,
because it
that's
has
right.
a lot of good flavor in it.
Should I get some more of that out then?
Now we'll go straight from
Okay.
it. We're going to add some oil right to the pot here.
Okay.
And
What
now
else?
we're going to add some vegetables. If you would start cutting a jalapeno, we're going to add some heat. It is chili, of course.
Oh,
We're going to
yeah.
have different levels of heat. So we have an onion that's going in. And we already have the chopped red bell pepper. I'll just grab that and throw that in there with it.
Now, you were telling me about this pepper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the seeds out.
All right, so well, yeah, when you open up a jalapeno, you see inside that you have some seeds and you have some middle here. If you want some more heat, you can leave the seeds in because that's where a lot of the heat is, but we're going to take it out so you can control your own level here. So you just use the back of a spoon and scrape it out.
Right.
And then if you'll just dice
Slice
it up for me.
There we go.
It can be rough chopped. I like my chili to be nice and hearty, so you know,
Yeah.
big thick pieces.
Chunky.
Big
You
chunky
like
pieces.
the texture. is
And I
what
know
you're
my
saying,
football
Ryan.
fans would have me keep the seeds in
Oh,
there
yeah.
for that extra
Yeah.
bite.
We're trying to be kind and polite.
Yeah.
And,
So
okay,
if, it's
so this goes in.
if it's your first time cooking, chili is a great thing to start with because it's a one-pot meal.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of get everything ready and throw it in. And also, if you have a lot to do, you can always throw all these ingredients. Yeah, throw it right in there. All these ingredients right into a crock pot in the morning.
Oh,
get,
yes.
Get all your work done.
Oh, that's the best way.
Set it on like a low setting for 6 to 8 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can come back and it does all the work for you.
Good to go when you're home.
Because it's always better when you leave it on there for a little while to let all the flavors kind
All the
of
flavors marry and
marinate. Yeah.
taste good.
All right.
So what we're doing right now is just sweating down some of the vegetables. It's on a low saute. It's getting the vegetables nice and soft.
Usually this takes a while.
It usually takes about 10 minutes or so, but we're going to
Kind of speed through.
We're
speed
speeding
through
it
it
up.
a little bit.
Okay, we're giving you the TV version.
A little TV version.
All right, what's next?
All right, so what we're going to do now is salt and pepper to taste. So I'm just going to throw in some salt here.
Yeah, you probably better do that because if it was me, I'd take the whole pepper
Yeah.
thing and all of it, put it in.
And then we check your blood pressure tomorrow.
Yes, exactly.
All right, now we have some fresh garlic that I minced up this morning. That's about
Oh.
3 tablespoons. I like garlic, so
Now I normally
Nice.
put the garlic in with the onions, but you said that's not a good idea.
No, you
I mean,
wanna-
at the beginning.
you want to throw it in at the end because it cooks pretty quickly, and if garlic burns, it turns really bitter. So you never want that to happen because
Didn't know that.
you don't want to ruin your whole pot here.
No, not at all.
All right, what we're going to do now is throw in some dry season. We have some more heat. This is cayenne pepper.
Okay.
And then we have chili powder. You need some,
Of course.
obviously,
Oh,
chili
yeah.
powder for
When it's,
chili, right?
when it's red, you know it's good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to stir this around for another 2 minutes, let some of these spices and vegetables cook together.
Now, again, we kind of hurried this. You
Now
would've
we're
let
going to
this
hurry it up,
sweat
yeah.
out a little bit. Okay.
And then what we're going to do now is called deglazing. Now, all these bits and pieces from the beef earlier and the vegetables now,
Right.
they're stuck to the bottom and they're now the beer time.
It's
Okay.
time for beer.
So what you do with the beer is, and this is a cooking secret at home, put in about 90% of it
Right.
because then the rest is yours.
Well,
It's the best thing to do when
never,
you
never
cook,
tried
when you
that.
cook with
Okay.
alcohol.
That's how it works.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so what we're going to do now is start mixing everything together, and it's going to take about 8 minutes or so, but we want to reduce the beer to half its volume.
Okay.
So bring it back up to a boil again. We're going to quickly go through that and reduce it to half of its volume.
Right.
The reason we're going to do that is it's going to intensify all the flavors from the beer.
Okay.
All right, so again,
All right,
TV
so
magic.
TV magic.
Going
TV
through.
magic.
All right, after that happens, we're going to throw in our can of crushed tomatoes. That's about 16 ounces.
All of it?
Okay.
Yeah, throw it all in
That's
there.
my kind of amount.
Perfect.
There we go.
You're going to bring this back up to a boil.
Okay.
But for now, we're going to throw in our beans. The beans were from a can, 16 ounces, and they were draining and washed off. You definitely want to wash off the juice that comes in the can there.
Really? Okay.
Yep. And then we're gonna throw in our ground beef that we had. Again, this is the ground beef. It has some of our herbs and seasonings. The cool thing about chili is when you get a basic recipe like this, you can then change it however you want to make it your own personal. You can throw in cinnamon, you can throw in chocolate, all kinds of different vegetables. You can literally do almost anything with it. Different beers, different whatever.
Beginning to end, about how long is the entire process that we just sped through?
Well,
half hour? 45 minutes?
About an hour because of the cooking time.
Okay.
So what we're doing now after we added everything is you basically have almost a finished product. But what we need to do is now bring it up to a boil,
Okay.
which we're not going to do. And then when it starts boiling, you're going to take your temperature and turn it all the way to low.
Okay.
So it's going to do a very, very light simmer.
Let it simmer. Gotcha.
And then
Which is what you've done.
What's over here.
Right.
And you partially cover it with the lid and let it go for 45 minutes to an hour. So there's most of your time there.
Everything
There's
soak
our
in.
finished product right there.
We absolutely can. This has been cooking this morning. And this is what it's looking like.
Scoop
So we'll
some out for
scoop
Jimmy
two
here.
bowls here.
Liking this.
And some suggestions at the end that I like to use are we have some fresh minced red onions, we have cheese, we have some sour
Don't forget
cream.
my cheese.
Let's top it.
Gotta have the onions, gotta have the cheese. Oh yeah.
There you go.
Let's make it pretty and good too. Wow.
So yeah, I mean it's a one pot, easy going, and
And
then
if
you
you'd
can
like
add whatever you want
if
here.
you'd like this recipe, of course, you can go to delmarvalife.com or you can send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to 1729 North Salisbury Boulevard, Salisbury, Maryland 21801. Make sure you write craft beer chili on your request and we'll get that recipe to you. All right, Jimmy, what do you think?
Enough heat for you?
I'll let you know in a second. I need to do more research.
Okay, you do that. So now that we know more about cooking with beer, it's time to talk about tasting the beer. It all goes down this weekend at the Good Beer Festival in Salisbury.
Yes, it is. And still to come, how to get in on all of the fun at this two-day festival. Do you know it's so much more fun than just good craft beer?
But first, as many of you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Dr. Oz has more on a few cancer-fighting foods.
You want to eat that?
Hi, I'm Dr. Oz. Research indicates that 40% of breast cancer cases can be reduced by diet changes. Get at least 30 grams of fiber per day with oats and other whole grains. Eat cabbage and arugula, both rich in plant compounds that protect cells from damage. And increase your folate with spinach, lentils, and orange.